Today we're going to talk about targeting. Targeting is super important because you don't want to have a conversation with everybody because everybody doesn't care. Everybody's not listening, nor does everybody need your product. So let's figure out who we should be having this conversation with so that it's a fluid conversation and people can interact with what we're putting out. So target market is a specific group of consumers at which a company aims its product or service. Who needs what you have? Who benefits from what you can do? You know, what problems do you solve? So all of this is a part of how you target and how you decide who to have this conversation with. So the importance of having the correct target market is that you want everything that you have going out. You want all of your resources and to be efficient. So we're not in the business of wasting money. We're not in the business of not having an ROI. So if you're spending money on marketing, you want to get a return on that investment, and targeting is how you ensure that that happens because you are speaking with the right audience. This is one of my favorite slides. If you've been to any of my other presentations or workshops, you've seen this before. It's super important. So this is your market, my market, everybody's market. It doesn't matter what you're selling. So 30% of that market, they wouldn't take it if you were giving it away. Another 30% of the market, they're just not interested in what you're selling, what you have, what service you have. So 60% of the market doesn't need you, doesn't want you. So don't talk to them. You're wasting your time and you're not going to convert. It's not going to go anywhere. You might as well talk to the wall. So let's focus our conversation on the remaining 40%. This 40% is your tribe. So speak to your tribe all the time. Speak directly to them because they have the problem that you can solve. So 30% of them, they're interested, but not right now. You know, hey, listen, Q4 just started. I'm trying to figure out what to do to prep for Q1. I'm not necessarily ready to do this now, but let's start the conversation. Majority of your audience needs to be nurtured. They don't know who you are. They don't know where you're coming from. They're not even sure what problems they have. They need you as the expert to identify those problems for them. And this is what you do throughout your content. This is what your touch points are for. So they have to be nurtured along the way. And this is why we create all of these campaigns and drip campaigns and email marketing and text message marketing to keep following up. This is why we put out content. 7% of the market, they're very open to buying. They just need to go through your sales process. How does this work? What's the benefits of it for me? Once you are able to connect those dots, then they're ready to make a purchase. Lastly, that final 3%, they're ready to buy. They're looking for you right now. They just haven't found you yet because you haven't been marketing or you haven't been talking to them in your marketing specifically. So this is the even more important to speak to your specific audience so that they know that you're talking to them, your products and services are for them, and you solve their problems. So that 3%, they're looking for you right now. And as soon as you pop up, they're like, shut up and take my money. This is probably one of my favorite slides to use. So from that target market, from that tribe, you then need to break it into market segments because everybody who has the problem, they don't think the same. And that problem doesn't affect them the same way as the other groups. So market segmentation is just the process of dividing that target market into smaller groups so that you can have a more specific conversation. So it's four primary ways to segment your market, right? So demographically, age, gender, location, right? Psychographically, core values, how they think, the type of lifestyle, the kind of work that they do. Geographic depends on where they are. You know, if you're a restaurant, there's no point. If you're a restaurant in Michigan, you should not be targeting people in California because they're not coming, right? And finally, behavioral, right? We want to start building relationships. You want to see how ready they are to make a purchase and what needs they have and how those needs affect them, because if the need is super urgent, then they're more likely to buy now rather than later. So you pay attention to all of these as just the guiding points for how you segment your market. So why we do this is so that we can develop the proper pricing strategy. You know, if you're targeting an affluent network, then that affects your price. because if you don't charge enough, they're not going to take you serious. It can't be worth it. You know, so let's pay attention to that when we're creating our pricing. Distribution and geography is super important when it comes to distribution. How far can we reach? Can we get it shipped to them on time? You know, what media we use is super important in market segmentation. So old people are on Facebook, young people are on Instagram, businesses are on Alignable and LinkedIn. Everybody's still trying to figure out TikTok, and people who like to argue are on Twitter. So if that's how you want to have the conversation, you choose the appropriate media to have that conversation and utilize that platform. And this directly affects your content, how you position your content. Hero Helping Hub, I got a workshop on content too. If you go to Alignable University, we talk about that and how to build engagement. Your content is affected directly by who you're talking to. It's a different conversation if you're talking to a man or a woman. It's a different conversation if you're talking to different ethnicities. It's just different. People think different. Culturally, there are differences. So you want to make sure that you're speaking directly to your target market and then directly to this market segment. The better you do this, the better people can go, oh, you're talking to me, and they'll start to listen. If you're putting out general content that's not speaking to anyone directly, nobody will pay attention. So you're putting out your posts and everything is general and bland, and you're wondering why nobody's clicking on your links. And that's why, because you're not talking to anyone specifically. The better you target and the more attention you pay to these market segments, the more people can participate in the content, because they're aware that you're speaking directly to them. So it's a lot that you can do to figure out the how to target and how to segment. You know, market research always helps. When any information that you can get based on buying habits and similar products that have been sold to yours, all the research that's available, use it, because data is important. The more data you can get your hands on, customer data surveys, anything that you can use, we take it, right? Understanding your customer is super important. Understanding how they think and how they buy, based on your previous experience. So if you're paying attention to the customers that you currently have, and you look at how long it takes them to make a decision, the type of questions that they ask, the frequently asked questions that you put on your website, right? All of these things go together. Understanding the problems they have as the expert is super important, but understanding their pain points is even more important, because the customer doesn't necessarily understand the problems they have. They just understand the symptoms. So I don't have any clients, so they automatically assume that they need to advertise, but that's usually not what'll help them, because if you don't have the infrastructure built and a customer journey already established, it doesn't matter how much you advertise, you're still not going to get any customers because you're not supporting that traffic. So the customer will understand their pain points, and you listen to their pain points and then diagnose what the actual problem is. And that's your job as the expert. And then you have to figure out what is the win to the customer? What is the overall outcome that will make them the happiest? And then let's deliver that. So your ability to deliver happiness is directly connected to the revenue that you generate. So in understanding how to target, how to have the conversation, how to position yourself, what problems they have, what symptoms that they can recognize, it all makes this conversation a little bit easier when you go to put out content and have conversations directly with your target audience. So there are a couple of different research methods, right? So you have the quantitative, where you're doing surveys and you're collecting data. And you had a qualitative, right, where you're actually having conversations and interviewing focus groups where you're asking people opinions. And then this is super important, because that kind of direct answer is the key to faster success. So if you're talking to 10 customers who are happy with you and you ask them what made them happy, you can't beat that data. Additionally, if you're talking to 10 potential customers who decided not to buy, why didn't you buy? And the answers that they give you allow you to change your business, and you can change this entire conversation based on that data. So when we talk about looking at the analytics of it, all of the social media platforms are pretty good about giving you the analytics. Alignable, once you get premium, is phenomenal. Alignable tells you every click that they've made, how many people visited your page, how many times they visited your page, and what they clicked on once they hit your pages. It's valuable information. Being able to digest those kind of analytics and then take that those KPIs and use them makes an impact on your business. So right now, not someday, but right now, you can use all of this information to start tweaking your conversation with your target market. So if you're not using AI at this point, you're a dinosaur. And look how fast we became dinosaurs, right? AI is a tool that you should be using because it does everything faster. It still needs to be tweaked. You still have to pay attention. It's not going to do it for you, but it can process in a way that's remarkable. Figure out a way to integrate AI into your business right now, not someday, but right now, or you're going to be playing catch up for all of 2024. The data that can come from what you tell the AI to pay attention to, very, very useful. Masterminds on this platform are stellar. If you've been to the mastermind with Sue Brook and Sherry Padrioli, it's a great time, and you get a lot of information. You get to speak directly to your target market and other experts in real time. And now you can take this information and start applying it to your business. Participate in masterminds. Whenever you see them pop up, if you have the time, go. It's always a good time. And additionally, when you have questions about processes in your business, there are other experts in the room that can support you. It's always a good time. So practical application of all of this. All of this was mumbo jumbo, and if you don't know how to use it, right? So let's talk about. I was in the Army, so I'm a big fan of practical application. So let's say you sell shampoo. Who do we target for you to sell shampoo? Right? Am I your target audience to sell shampoo? Like probably not, but you didn't have to laugh that hard because I don't have hair. It's a challenge that I'm trying to overcome. But honestly, no, I'm not the target audience of selling shampoo. Although my entire family uses shampoo, I know a lot of people who use shampoo. I'm not making shampoo purchases, so don't target me for something that I'll never need. So this goes directly with what Randy said before, where people are saying, well, everybody's my target audience. No, they're not. Stop talking to people who will never buy from you. Speak to the people who need you and start building relationships with them. And then now you can cultivate a long-term relationship. And the ROI on a long-term relationship is substantially more than somebody who may buy occasionally for somebody else. So pay attention to that in your targeting, and you'll save yourself a lot of frustration. So I'm not the target audience for shampoo, but who is, right? How about people with hair? So let's target people with long hair. And more importantly, let's target families with long hair, because if everybody washes their hair a couple of times a week, that's probably a bottle of shampoo every 2 weeks. And I can get 2 bottles out of each family per month. Let's start building a relationship with these families, right? And now the families with hair becomes a market segment, because the families are going to have very specific needs as a family, right? So now let's start the conversation with the families. Additionally, how about we target athletes, because they sweat a lot and they get dirty. So if they sweat a lot and get dirty, chances are you're gonna have to wash your hair a great deal. So let me become a partner with you in keeping your hair manageable while you sweat and do all your athletic stuff. So anyone who plays a sport is now a target. So now we can target athletes, right? So that becomes another market segment, because there's a very specific conversation we can have with athletes. How about people who just work out just to be healthy, right? So if they're in the gym, they need to wash their hair when they finish, right? Anywhere in the process. So, and stages in life would make them a market segment. So as the young lady is working out during her pregnancy, she has very specific needs, very specific conversation you can have with her about managing her hair with the hormonal changes of being pregnant, and the different kind of oils that are in there, and what's safe while she's pregnant to wash her hair. We want to make sure the chemicals are in there. So if your shampoo addresses these needs, she's buying. Even for the people who go to the gym every day, they have very specific needs, right? How about people who are new to working out and they're just starting on their journey? Take us with you, and let's make sure that your hair is clean after you, because you're not used to working out all the time, and you don't have a regimen to address this problem that you didn't know you were going to have because you just started working out. So we are here to sell you the proper shampoo to make sure we keep your hair together while you go on this fitness journey. So now we are part of the conversation from a shampoo point of view. Now, when we start putting out content, let me give you some easy hairstyles to keep your hair together while you work out, especially if you're new to working out. And then you can make sure to use our shampoo to keep your hair clean as you try out these different shampoos when you finish working out. But now we're putting out content that's a part of the conversation, and we're connecting ourselves to the lifestyle. We're connecting ourselves to what they're doing in trying to be healthy. And now we're synonymous with this part of the process for them. So as we put out content and as we connect, we're having very specific conversations about the needs they have based on the life that they have and the decisions that they've been making. And we want to be a part of those decisions. So now we've given everybody a reason to use our shampoo. And now we continue that, and we put out content, and we interact with the customer, and we have conversations with them to see what the symptoms are of their problem so that we can continue to solve them. Do you need a detangler? Do you need something that's organic? Do you need something that's a conditioner? What do you need that I can do? What problems do you have that I can solve as a shampoo expert? So the better we can identify the problems, the better we position ourselves within this conversation, the better we understand the problems. And we're talking very specifically to each one of these market segments based on their problems. Now we're a resource, and people will come back and they'll pay attention to our content. They'll participate in anything that we have going on as far as that are shampoo related or hair related or fitness related. So now we've connected ourselves to an entire industry that really doesn't have anything to do with shampoo, but it does now because we're here and we're talking to them about it.